Hello, hello, hello. I'm sorry that it took me forever to get in here. Jeez. And I'm super freaking late. So my apologies sincerely, you guys. I really shouldn't have ran out to do one last errand right before getting started. Hello, rise up. Nothing on this stupid computer wants to work fast enough for me today, so I'm really sorry about that. All right, where are we here? I hope y'all have had a good day today. Mine has been full of ups and downs. So, oh my goodness. Okay, where are we at here? We went through all of these. This is 273-S10. So, it's just been one hell of a day, not gonna lie. And then, of course, I had one last errand to go run right before I got started. I really should not have done that. Regardless, we're here now. I don't know where everybody else is. I know I got a message, an email from Nancy saying that she wasn't going to be able to be here. I think I didn't get a chance to even read the full email. I'm not even going to lie. So, not that everybody needs to be, telling me where they're going or whatever. So, I hope you guys have had a great week. It's been crazy for me. Busy, busy, busy. Way too many things to do. Aw, my favorite YouTuber. Hey, what's up, Tambra? You're so sweet, honey. How's everybody's Halloween holidays going? Are you heading out or going to any special functions? Again, like I said, I'm so sorry that I'm so freaking late. Like 15, 20 minutes in, for God's sakes. Let's do this. This kind of a fucking night too, of course. Why would anything work smoothly, right? It has been one hell of a day. I'm so happy you finally got your gift. I thought it would arrive a heck of a lot sooner than it did if it just got to you like today or yesterday, but okay, where are we at here? We need some volume. No plans besides handing out candy. Well, that's all right though. Hi, Joe. You received it last week. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I thought it was going to get there with.
So just so the recording knows, your dad is Jeremy.
Yes.
And Jeremy knows you're talking with me right
yes.
now. Okay. So we're talking about Chris and Shanann Watts and some responsibilities you might have had for babysitting their children.
Yes.
So how long have you known Chris and Shanann?
My dad used to work with them, and I think I got to meet them when I was around 6 or 7 years old.
So Jeremy is your dad?
Yes.
And who did he work with?
He worked with both of them. They both worked at Longmont Ford. Shanann was a salesperson, and Chris was a mechanic.
Okay. Do you remember when that was?
I would say probably in 2013 or 14-ish is when they all worked there at the same time.
What did your dad do there?
He was an internet manager.
Does your dad still work at?
No, he works at Siltahar Motors now.
Works at Siltahar. Okay, down in Boulder.
Yeah.
And do you know what Chris and Shanann do now?
Yes. Shanann advertises this thing called Thrive, which is a patch you wear that gives you like energy boosts, I guess. And then Chris does the oil company where they drill in the ground to find oil. I think it's called Anadarko.
Anadarko.
Yeah.
So he works there.
Yes.
And Shanann, Shanann, mainly work from home?
Yes.
Or does she travel or?
She travels for business when they have like conventions and stuff, and she posts on Facebook, and I think she advertises, and that's what her job is to advertise for Thrive.
Okay, so she's an advertiser, and he works in the oil industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think you've known them since 5 or 6 years?
Yeah.
So you babysit for them not on a regular basis or on a regular basis?
Not on a regular basis.
So how many times have you babysat for them?
Just once.
Once. And when was that?
Saturday night.
Okay, so today is the 14th. Monday is the 13th. Sunday is the 12th.
So the 11th.
So the 11th.
Yes.
Okay, so you babysat for them on Saturday. What time did you start babysitting?
4:30 p.m.
4:30 p.m.?
Yes.
And who asked you to babysit?
Chris had contacted my dad.
On what day?
Friday.
Do you know what time?
No, I do not know what time.
And he asked
if I could babysit their kids while he went to the Rockies game and Shanann was out of town.
Do you know who he was going to the Rockies game with?
He said something about how it was with his work or something from his work. Because my dad was going to the Broncos game that night. And my dad had invited him to go to the Broncos game because he had an extra ticket. And he said he couldn't because this is something from work.
So friends or something from work?
Yeah.
Did you see? So what time? How did you get to his house? Did you babysit there, or did he come here?
I went there. My mom dropped me off.
And that was on Saturday.
Yes.
Your mom? What's your mom's name?
Jennifer.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
Do you know your mom's birthday?
July 1st, 1981.
That's awesome. Yeah. Your mom's birthday. So Saturday, your mom drops you off. What time?
4:30.
Was anybody at the house?
Chris and his 2 daughters.
Okay. What are his daughters' names?
Celeste and Bella.
How old's Celeste?
She's 3 and Bella is 4.
Anybody else at the house besides those 3?
No.
So tell me what happens. Your mom drops you off. Does your mom come in with you?
No.
You just get out?
Yeah.
Go in by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a cell phone?
I do.
What's your number?
720.
Your address is 265 Sunbeam Court. So you go into the house. Chris, Celeste, and Bella are there. All right. And does Chris tell you what he wants you to do, or
Yeah.
Tell me what Chris tells you? You said, sorry, let me back up real quick. Shanann was not home; she was somewhere else.
Yes.
Where was she?
Arizona for her work.
And Chris told you that?
Yes, and I had seen posts on Facebook because I'm friends with Shanann on
Okay,
Facebook.
so you knew.
Yeah.
But Chris told you the same.
Yes.
Okay. So just tell me your conversation with Chris when you show up.
I walked in and then he asked what kind of pizza I liked because he was going to order me and the girls pizza for dinner. So he got on the phone and ordered them pizza. He gave them their medicine before he left because he didn't want me to have to worry about that. And they were already in their pajamas, and he said I just have to play with them, and then at 7 o'clock lay them down to go to bed. And he
told you to put them down at 7 p.m.?
Yes. And he just showed me where their cameras were for their rooms, and showed me how to.
What kind of cameras?
They were like installed on the wall, and there was like this little mini thing I could watch to make sure they were okay in their beds.
So like a little television you were watching, and you could see the kids?
Yeah, it was like a handheld, and it switched back from each room.
Was that part of their video surveillance, or was it separate?
I think it was separate. And then.
Do you know if that recorded, or was it just live?
I think it was just live.
Okay.
And then he gave me a cell phone number just in case I needed anything.
Do you remember what that is?
No, it was on the counter and I didn't need it. And then Shanann was texting me and she was like, "Are the girls okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're fine."
So Shanann knew you were there too?
Yes, she called me.
Did Chris ever text you?
No.
So Shanann knew you were there because Chris told her,
Yeah.
or did you tell her?
I think Chris told her.
So how did Chris leave the house? Well, so did he run you through these instructions? Do you recall what the girls were wearing?
Yes, they were wearing 2 nightgowns, and actually a police officer came over today and they had pictures and they told me to pick out which ones they were wearing.
So they went through that with you. Can you just describe them, what they were wearing, if you remember?
They were 2 nightgowns, and I think one was blue, and they just had like little kid, like stars and hearts and sparkles and stuff on them.
Okay.
And I think the other one was like a peach color.
Okay. Remember what was on that one?
What's that?
Do you remember what was on that one?
They were kind of similar. It's still like the stars and the hearts. And I have a picture of what Cece was wearing.
Did you take a picture of her that night?
Chris took the picture, I'm pretty sure.
On your phone?
No, he posted it on Facebook, or Shanann posted it, because he was sending them pictures of the girls when she was checking in on them.
Okay, tell me how somebody got a picture of the girls that night.
I'm pretty sure it was taken on Chris's phone, and then I'm guessing he sent it to her, and then she had posted it on Facebook, so that's how I saw it.
Prior to him leaving for the game?
I can check when she posted it.
Okay.
Because I noticed that was the same exact thing she was wearing when I came over to watch them. Yeah, she posted it on Saturday at 10:30 at night, and that's the night I babysat.
Can I see that picture?
Yes. That's the youngest one, Celeste, but she goes by Cece too.
Do you remember what was on that one?
They were kind of similar, and posted it because he was sending them pictures of the girls when she was checking in on them.
Okay, tell me how somebody got a picture of the girls that night.
I'm pretty sure it was taken on Chris's phone, and then I'm guessing he sent it to her, and then she had posted it on Facebook, so that's how I saw it.
Prior to him leaving for the game?
I can check when she posted it.
Okay.
Because I noticed that was the same exact thing she was wearing when I came over to watch them. Yeah, she posted it on Saturday at 10:30 at night, and that's the night I babysat.
Can I see that picture?
Yes. That's the youngest one, Celeste, but she goes by Cece too.
You don't mind if I take a picture of
Go ahead. Is it bad lighting?
It's fine. So she posted that Saturday, and that's the clothing that Celeste was wearing.
Yes.
The night that you babysat for them. So do you think that's prior? What time did you babysit? You got there at 4:30? What time did you leave?
Around 10:30.
Were the kids sleeping?
Yes. So I'm guessing that was before I came because it's light.
Just making some notes, just a second.
This girl was so smart. Her attention to detail is impeccable.
So you did not send that picture to Shanann?
Mm-mm.
Chris must have.
Yes.
Do you remember what Chris was wearing when he left?
A white t-shirt and darkish, almost black jeans.
Do you remember if the t-shirt had anything on it?
No, I think it was plain.
Do you remember his shoes?
No.
Was he wearing a jacket? Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Does he wear glasses?
Yeah, he usually doesn't, but when he left, I'm pretty sure he was wearing his glasses.
Like reading glasses or sunglasses?
Reading glasses.
And he left your phone number to reach him?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that, again, you said it was just written down on the counter? It was written on a note?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who he left with?
No.
Did you see the vehicle or the car that he left in?
No, he told me to go distract the kids while he left so they didn't get upset that he was leaving.
Did you hear a car?
No.
Did he take his own truck, or did you think he left with somebody?
I'm not sure because his work truck was parked in front of the house, and I never looked in the garage or anything to see if any vehicles.
Did the work truck ever leave?
No.
What's his work truck look like?
It's big and brown, and it has like a bunch of mechanical stuff on the back of it. It looks like for the oil fields.
Does it have any markings on it?
No.
Does it say the name of the business?
No, it's blank. Because I remember the girls kept pointing it out because they're like, that's my daddy's truck.
So the girls are 3 and 4, but do they talk with you a lot?
Yes, they're very talkative.
They're very talkative?
Yes.
Okay. So did they tell you anything that was happening? Was there anything that was concerning that you heard?
Bella she sat by me and she was really concerned. Her little sister fell asleep before her, so she sat on the couch with me for a while, and she actually told me something. She said, "Can I ask you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "My little sister she told me if she eats coconut, she'll never be able to see her again." So I'm guessing that the littlest one has a severe allergy, and that's what they told her, that if she eats that, she'll never be able to see her again. And she was really upset by that.
Bella was?
Yeah.
And so if Cece ate coconut, she would potentially die.
I know she has a tree nut allergy, but I never heard coconut. So I wonder if they I don't know if she got coconut.
So Cece has a tree nut allergy?
Yeah, like a severe one.
Okay. So you watch the children. He leaves you get there at 4:30? What time do you think he leaves?
Probably 4:45 after we've gone through everything, and he orders the pizza for us.
Where was the pizza from?
Papa John's, I think.
Okay. And he leaves about 4:45. You didn't see who he left with.
Mm-mm.
Okay, you watch the kids. Any phone calls? Do you see anything out of place at the house? Is anything weird?
It seemed normal. They all were acting normal. The kids were having fun. The house seemed fine.
Okay. And you put the girls down at 7.
Yeah.
And then what time does Chris come back?
Around 10:30.
Anybody else in the house while you're there? Just you and the two girls?
Yeah, my mom was waiting outside to pick me up because he told me 10, so my mom came at 10, but when he came home, he said he had gotten stuck in some traffic, which was understandable.
And your mom was there to pick you up?
Yeah. She was waiting outside the house in her car.
She's waiting in her car?
Yeah.
He gets home at 10:30, and he was at the Rockies game, right?
Yes.
That's where he said he was going?
Yes.
Did he mention anything that happened, or?
He just gave me the money and I left.
He didn't tell you? He said he got stuck in traffic?
Yeah.
Was he wearing the same clothing?
Yes.
And you didn't ever see who he came back with?
No, my mom saw him come home, so
Your mom did?
I bet if you ask her.
So just so the recording knows, your dad is Jeremy.
Okay, so I'm curious to know what Mom saw when Chris arrived home. Did he arrive home alone? I wonder now. Are y'all questioning any of this in your own mind at home, listening? But yeah, I seriously appreciate y'all, you know. Thank you for joining and thank you for being here and being my support and hanging out. It's always awesome no matter who's here. Even if it's the trolls. It's always awesome to see y'all. Are you meing about the pizza? Oh my gosh, Yvette, you're making me want pizza more now because they have an awesome gluten-free one here. Oh my goodness. Forget it. Get it out of my mind. That's not happening. Ooh. As I jump right to the bottom. Let's see.
Audio. We introduced ourselves in the lobbies and earlier, so we're just going to do that again real quick. My name is Kevin Kovac. I'm with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and we're assisting the Frederick Police Department with this case involving Chris Wiens. And this is Tim Martinez, also an agent at CBI. Sir, if you just introduce yourself.
Dwayne Kessinger. I'm Nicole's father.
Dwayne, what's your birthday?
November 3rd, 1958.
And home address for you, sir?
They've probably already long moved and gotten out of Dodge for reporters and whatnot.
Home phone or where?
7.
Thank you. And Nicole, can you just introduce yourself for the recording?
Nicole Kessinger.
Yes, please.
I live at 12255 Claude Court. And it's
Again, probably already long moved. But yeehaw, we get to go through this now, right?
Claude Court, is that?
Go over all the many lies.
Okay. Can you speak up just a little bit so the recorder? I know you're tired and you're stressed, and we won't be here any longer than we have to be. You've already had a conversation with people before. You came here on your own free will to talk to us. We picked you up at your request and brought you here. You can get up and leave at any time. You don't have to talk to us. If there's a question you don't want to answer, don't answer it. If you don't want to talk anymore, just tell me I want to leave. And I'm kind of in the way of the door, but you're not being interrogated as a criminal suspect. We're here to understand your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family, and events relating to Chris Watts. And do you know him as Chris or Christopher?
either one.
Okay. So the phone number that you reached him on, can you tell me what that number was?
I think I deleted that out of my phone too. I just cut him out of my life. It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
We gave it to Mark yesterday.
I probably
He'll
have it,
have
but
it.
just in case.
I don't have it.
If I recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first three numbers.
But you know it as a 910 number?
Yes, that's what I do know. I mean, that's what I've got.
North Carolina or something.
North Carolina. Okay. So let's just start with like a timeline of your getting to know Chris, how you guys met, where you met, all those things. Let's just run. And I'm not going to ask you specific questions unless I think it's necessary. I'll let you just tell me your story. I think it's a little bit easier that way. So I just want to know how you met him, where you met him, how long you guys were dating, and those kind of things initially.
Okay. I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual. And he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either. And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is in June.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not good with holidays.
he told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after
Okay.
that. So that's what I do now. And I was like, I know, I thought it was cute. And then he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other. And then he told me that those 2 were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick, but to be honest with you, on an exact date of when that happened, I don't know.
So in May and June, first of all, where do you work?
I work at Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. I'm contracted to Anadarko Petroleum Corporation.
Okay, and you work out of an office setting where?
In Flatville, Colorado.
And Chris also works out of that location, per
Yes.
se.
Yes. He's in the field, but he comes into the office with his team.
So you work, what is your job responsibility?
I do health, safety, and environment.
Okay, so you work in the office and you take care of health safety for Anadarko is an oil and gas company, right?
Yes.
So you're doing health safety in the office and Chris works in the field
Yes.
as what kind of job does he do?
He's an operator, so I don't know like all of his daily duties, but he's a field operator, so he works with like the oil wells.
So he goes out and does work on those, whatever
Yes.
that work might be. But he comes into the office frequent.
In the mornings, his team meets in the mornings. They're not all in there every day. Some days some of them are in there, some days other ones are in there, but in the mornings typically from like 6:15 to probably 7, somewhere around there.
And is that where you met Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So can you just take us through kind of a little bit of the early part of how he courted you or you courted him? I don't know which one happened. How you guys got to know each other?
I guess we just started talking. He actually, so part of my job is to manage the gas monitors that we have. So Anadarko requires all of their field personnel to carry like gas monitor sensors for toxic gases, and it's my job to control the inventory, any issues, anything like that. And we were having some pretty serious like equipment issues, and we had numerous amounts of people coming in my office one day, and he happened to be one of them. And I'd seen him before, like they meet in the lunchroom, and that's where I go put my lunch in the fridge. So I'd seen him, but I didn't ever like talk to him. So that day we just started talking, and then every time I saw him in the hallway after that, and it was always hit or miss, like it wasn't an everyday thing. It was just when I saw him, we just started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common and just hit it off. So we'd always have, pretty good conversations. And then, I don't know, one day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. Okay. And then,
When do you think that was?
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
Yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just
No.
conversing at work?
Yeah, that's all it was. And then, I don't know. We started hanging out. We hung out. We went to a park. Hung out at a park.
Let's go back real quick. So why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Did he ask you out at that time?
No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me. And so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone, and I was like, no. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation. But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I'm interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. And
so you have a work phone that's specifically...
No, I have one phone that I do both on. He has two phones.
Okay, so he had your phone, the 72065.
That's the only number that I roll with all the time.
Okay.
So he has two phones.
One of those owned by Anadarko and
Yes,
one
sir.
personal.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what his Anadarko phone number was?
It's been so long, and I mean, I'm sure I could like look it up, but I tried to look it up for those guys yesterday, and I couldn't find it.
Okay. You can find it. That's okay. Just wondering if you knew it.
But at that point, we just like took it to his phone because I just felt it was like better that way. And we just continued to talk, and then
Let me go back to the park. Where's the park?
it's like down the street from my house. It's called East Lake number 3.
Your house
Yes.
in Northland?
Yes.
And that was in the June time frame.
Yeah, or like the beginning of July. It was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work?
Yeah.
Basic conversation for a first date?
I mean, we kept it pretty simple, I guess. You know, I don't even remember everything we talked about. We
Sure.
were there for a few hours.
Understand so if I ask about conversation, what I'm looking for, is he talking about his family during any of these meetings? Those are the kind of, I understand, whatever you guys were talking about, relationship, your life, your interests, those things, we don't need to know that. What I'm interested in is knowing is when he brings up his children, when he brings up his wife, when he brings up financial information, when he brings up his home, when he brings up anything that may have been, and it's been a few days, so you've had a chance to reflect on some articles that you may have read, and you know, unfortunately, that you're in a situation where somebody has been murdered. And that information, when you look backwards in your memory with conversations with Chris, anything that he might have said that would be relative to that, and I'm not just, even if one day he was mad and he said, I want to do this or do that, anything like that, if he ever made any kind of statements that you were like, whoa, that was weird, or why would he say that, or why did he mention that? Do you understand what I'm
No,
looking
I
for?
completely understand. I just feel like some of this happened so long ago that I can't tell you like the exact words of the exact conversation at the exact time and place, because it's like we had a lot of conversations. I mean, we talked every single day. So it's like I'm trying to help you guys with the stuff that's more current. I can give you guys a lot more like detail and exact times. But when you're asking me about something that happened 6 weeks ago and exactly what was said, it's like, I mean, I'm sure I can give you a general idea, but to be honest with you, like to pinpoint exact words, it's not going to happen.
I'm not looking for exact words. Just more, let's say 6 weeks ago he said something that triggered with you last night. That's what I'd be looking for. Or something 4 weeks ago. And if you don't remember where it was or the specific words, that doesn't matter. Just he said something that was off the wall, or he said this or he said that has caused you a moment to pause and you go, wow, I wonder why he said that. Now knowing what you know today. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
I completely understand. And to be honest with you, I mean, there were several discussions that we had about his current relationship and where it had gone and what it had caused. And he talked about his kids from time to time. But the thing is he was never hostile. It was never anything aggressive. Like even when he spoke of his wife and the fact that they were separating, it was never like ill. It was still very kind. It was just like, this is not working, and would explain why, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary or anything that I think would scare me. And to this day, even after everything that I found out, I still look back at that and I don't see any red lights with the way that he spoke of his family.
Can you just describe his overall demeanor over the 10, 12 weeks that you guys knew each other?
It wasn't that long. It was like 6 weeks that we were hanging out. I guess we knew each other longer.
Okay, but you met him in the office, and just his overall persona, who was he? Was he aggressive? Was he mellow? Was he calm? Was he outspoken? Who was Chris?
I think he's an introvert. I would consider him to be like a pretty, I don't want to say he's a very reserved individual. I think he's probably more reserved around other people. I think he emphasized to me that one of the reasons that he really enjoyed talking to me is because if he felt like he could get out of his shell. He said around most people, he just like didn't really feel the need to like talk and converse. And it wasn't just in his home life, just in general. It wasn't something where he's an introvert. And he said with me, it made him feel like he could really just start talking about things that excited him. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had things in common. So with me, I think he was a little bit more outgoing, but even then, I would still consider him to be an introvert. I mean, not on the extreme end. If an introvert went to like 1 to 10, I'd put him at like a 4 or 5, so on the lighter side of introvert.
Pretty even keeled.
Yes, like really relaxed, like all the time. He was never really like worked up about anything, just
Mellow,
chill,
easygoing guy.
very much.
Okay. And he was that way with you. Did he ever have any kind of? Did you guys ever have arguments? I mean,
No.
pretty short relationship. No arguments during that time.
No.
Did he ever lose his temper at any time?
Never.
You guys never had a yelling match.
No.
So you never saw him upset or mad.
No. And there was a couple times that we had some disagreements on things that as we like further progress into this story, but it was never like, I am very calm when I talk to people. It's like extremely rational when I handle situations that there's a disagreement in. And he always was the exact same thing. Like always. Like I never stressed anything. I think one thing that actually kind of drew me to him was the fact that he was like very open with communicating with me if there were any like differences on how we saw things or just like open-minded about things. It was actually, I personally thought it was kind of unique because usually most of the men that I've ever met are typically very closed off, and I didn't get that from him at all. But it was always like kind, very kind.
So no sense that this guy had a temper or
Not at
was aggressive, or he never lost his mind and yelled and said crazy stuff or anything like that. Okay.
No.
So can we just kind of go back to your relationship? You say you guys had a lot in common. What was that?
Well, I mean, like we're both really into fitness. I think that's important. It's a lifestyle. Both of us ate pretty healthy, so I think that was important as well. He's like a total gearhead. He likes cars a lot, and I don't know nearly as much about them, but it's always been something that I've been pretty interested in. So,
does anybody else feel like we've just gotten duplicate files from Weld County? I mean, we know that this interview was released in the first fucking file, and now we have to listen to this liar all over again in the second release. I find it a little bit strange that we are hearing like duplicate information. We're hearing the exact same interview all over again. For what fucking reason? Other than they didn't want to release all 5 or 6 other ones that they actually spoke to her on, and she may have said something incriminating, right? Such a piss off. I know, I can't stand it either. Totally a fucking filler, right? I mean, it's so fucking obvious. It's so obvious. God damn it. Like, seriously, the more and more that we get into this, it's honestly just proves that there may be some truth to the fact that they were paid out by somebody. There may be some truth to the fact that there was some incriminating evidence against Nicole Kessinger, but we're never going to get to fucking see it because probably Daddy Dearest went and paid a whole bunch of money in order to make sure that his daughter didn't have to go to jail after she knew and maybe even helped conspire this entire crime. Oh, absolute bullshit. I almost don't want to make you guys listen to this. It's fucking 2 hours long. Why? Like, geez. How many of us are sick and tired of hearing all the lies and not getting the full truth and nothing but the truth? So fucking frustrating.
We definitely talk about
I really need to
like
stop
that.
swearing
That's
so
awesome.
much. I'm working
And
on it, but
I was the area that we were discussing will be fine, and he just left it at that. So he didn't even tell me, which was fine. I respect that.
Daycare is obviously very expensive for a 3 and 5 year old.
No, it was super restrictive. It was nothing like that. It's just like day up.
seriously.
So, once through the garage.
Ugh. Once through the garage. My ass. Like nails on a chalkboard. You got that right, Miri. Pardon my French and excuse my language, blah, blah, blah. I know I've apologized a million times. I really am trying to work on myself, but I also work at beating myself up for when I do things wrong. So, not that that's very healthy. Phone waiver. Because we got all the information? Oh, God. So fucking frustrating. Well, and why did they interview her like 4 times? Honestly, there's a lot of interviews with this girl, and I wouldn't doubt if there was more. I just emailed with Weld County actually today, you guys. Even you're censoring yourself, Gianna Marie. That just proves that I really should be. Anyways, I was just messaging with Weld County today, and they had informed me that there is no more new information. Now, might I add that I did forward a secondary comment to that asking for any and all of the case file, like all of it. Is there any possibility that we are going to be able to ever kind of see all of it? And I did not get a response today to that, but that was a response to their email today. So there, for those creators that are out there saying, well, there's going to be new info, blah, 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 blah. Like, we saw these fucking cards in the first one. Stop swearing, Sherry. Oh my God. We saw all of these cards. We heard this interview. Why do we need to go over the same crap twice? Like, it's pretty obvious that somebody is hiding something if you can't even disclose it all. And you're going to say there's a secondary release? You're going to say there's a secondary release when meanwhile there really isn't any? And it's all the same information just given further along? And a bunch of meaningless information about the searches and like police cam and all this crap? Like, come on. Where's the bulk of the real shit? Where is the real interviews? Where's the real case files?
Today is August 17th, 2018.
Backwards.
The time is 10:51 a.m. This is Agent Kevin Kovac from CBI making a phone call to witness in the Watts matter. Nicole Lee Kessinger at 720-656-9605. Nicole texted me last night and said that she recalled some further information after an interview with her on the 16th. So the phone call will be to update whatever information she wants to provide and address a couple other issues that were not addressed during the initial interview.
Hello.
Hi, Nikki. It's Kevin.
Hi.
How are you? Sorry,
Hello.
sorry for the delay. I got stuck in a meeting. Obviously, couldn't walk out. So I apologize for taking so long to get back to you.
It's okay.
You at least got a couple hours of sleep last night?
Yes.
You sound a little bit better than yesterday.
I feel a little bit better, not much, but I feel like sitting down and just talking about all of that with everybody is like, it's helping.
Good. Well, I think just keep that up. And again, if you need any, if I can put you in touch with somebody from Victim Advocate to whatever I can help you with, just call and ask.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to do that once we're done talking.
Okay, sure. I can get somebody in touch with you today. And you don't need to tell me about anything. We talked about that yesterday, but it might be something good for you to do, and I can make that happen today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what you texted me about 2 a.m. and said that you remembered some other information. What did you remember?
Like, just kind of odds and ends. And I'm sure there will be more as this goes on. I interacted with him so much that sometimes, like, I just have to stop and think about how much information that I have gotten from him over the last few months and the last week or so. And, like I said, I never know what's true and what's not anymore.
Sure.
So I figured I'll just give you guys everything I have. And hopefully I don't have to keep calling you back with more, but no promises.
No, that's okay. Please do. Like I told you yesterday, anything that comes to mind that you think is important, I'd like to know. Because you know him better than anybody probably over the last 6 to 8 weeks. So that's anything that he said to you or anything that stands out to you as you're reflecting on all this kind of mess here is important for me to know.
Understood. Couple things. So one, I went back and I tried to find whatever text you were talking about between my friend Charlotte and me with the eHarmony thing, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
If you it's not I text so much though. So if you find it and you show it to me, let me know. But it's just I was on that site, but it was never worth a damn for me. So it wasn't really something that I ever discussed with her. However, when I was going back through there, I did realize that I had offhandedly mentioned to her a little bit about Chris. I didn't tell her that I was how deep the rabbit hole went on that, I guess you could say, but it was kind of vague, and she was asking a lot of questions at that point, but it was just oh, you know what? I did say something to her.
You guys, I think I just looked at the messages, and there was some little bit of conversation regarding, he's got kids. There was some conversations about some sexual related stuff, and that was about it. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's it. But I did mention it to her, and honestly, we've talked since then, and I haven't even mentioned him, and that girl's so wrapped up in everything that's going on in her life. I don't even think she realizes what's going on in the news. Okay. I don't even think she's going to connect the dots. I would be surprised. I honestly am convinced that if I don't say a word about it, I bet you she won't even bring him up.
Okay.
And even if she did, if I was just he's not around anymore in my life, I don't even think I'm not concerned about her.
Okay. And the only concern I had there seemed like there was some conversation about a boyfriend, and it doesn't seem so you were actually talking to her about Chris, not a boyfriend.
I went back to those texts. I'm what is he talking about? I don't see anything about eHarmony. And if it's in there, maybe it is, and I just missed it. But
okay.
It's no, I don't know. I don't know.
It's not all that important. It's not all that important, so we can move past that. What else?
On Monday night, so a couple things. I told you he had texted me, and then at the end of the night, he had called, or I had called. I think he called me, but either way, we were on the phone with each other. And
at some point when we were on the phone, he was like, do you want to FaceTime? And I remember I was laying in bed, and I was just like, you know what? Okay, let me turn on the light. And I remember I turned on the light, and we FaceTimed. And when we FaceTimed, he didn't really say much. Like, it was almost kind of awkward. I don't even know why I didn't think of this earlier, but it was very short too. It was super brief. And I remember
what's short? What is short? Like a couple of minutes or 30 minutes?
Oh no, I bet it was only probably like less than 5 minutes. I think it was only like a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And I think we were like talking a little bit, but he was laying down on a mattress that didn't have any sheets on it. And I was like, okay. So I was thinking like, well, maybe he's in bed. I don't know what's up. But I remember asking him like, where's your sheets? And he's like, oh, I washed them. And then this is the part I don't remember if this sentence right here came in the FaceTime conversation or if it came in a phone conversation prior to the FaceTime conversation. But regardless, this next sentence came on Monday night, and I'm so sorry that I cannot always remember chronological every little detail.
That's okay. It's understandable.
There's so much. But I remember he was saying that he was cleaning the house to try to keep busy, to take his mind off of things. And this was on the phone. And it was kind of late when he was doing it. And I didn't honestly think that much about it originally, because that man is always cleaning. He's very, very organized, meticulous, clean individual. He's the type of guy that will vacuum his whole house one week, and if there's rooms that don't get used, he'd vacuum again the next week, just because it's part of his routine.
Okay.
So the fact that he's cleaning to kill time and take his mind off things did not seem like a super red flag to me. Because I was like, okay, well, that's what he does. He just on his days off, he organizes his basement, or he cleans his garage. It's what he does.
Okay.
And so anyways, so that didn't seem at all the norm for me. But something that just kind of dawned on me last night as he made the comment directly after that. He said, I had to wash the kids' sheets. He was like, they smell. And I was thinking about that last night, and I'm like, this man keeps that house so clean. That's the cleanest house I've ever seen. And I'm like, this man keeps that house so clean. Why would his kids' sheets smell bad?
And you think this was Monday night? What time do you think it was Monday night?
Oh God, I don't even know. I almost wish you guys would show me my phone.
So I'm gonna read off your phone calls for Monday and Tuesday, starting.
No, it's on Monday.
Okay,
just
so
Monday night.
Monday night, you guys had. We talked about a phone call yesterday, but you guys had a phone call Monday night. It looks like he called you. It was 48 minutes and 57 seconds. It was at 9:48 p.m. that he called you. So that would take us to about 10:35. And then there's another call on Monday. It's for 51 minutes and 25 seconds. It looks like, I'm not sure looking at this who called who, but it looks like you called him. And that was at 11:09 p.m. That lasted 51 minutes. So that takes us to midnight. And then there's another phone call where he calls you. So we're now into midnight, Tuesday morning. It's a 30-minute phone call that lasts until 12:38 a.m. And then after 12:38 a.m., there's a 2-minute and 44-second phone call that that starts at 1:12 a.m. It's 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So
yeah, so I would almost, this is just me, but I would go get my text messages with him from that night, and I would sync them up to that time frame, because there was texting in between that. So I think what happened is he called me on that first call, and then there's that gap between the first call and the second call. In that gap, that was when the FaceTime time for a few minutes, and that was when I got up out of bed because I was just having trouble sleeping, and I was like, I went and did laundry. That's what I did. I went like I just put some clothes in the dryer, and then I think I called him back, and then we continued to talk. So that little gap right there between those two big phone calls at the very beginning of the night, I mean, not the very beginning of the night, but the big ones, but the first two. So in between that gap, there's like a quick FaceTime.
So you think that 2 minute and 44 second is the FaceTime?
The one at the very end?
Yeah. Well, so there's
I don't even think the FaceTime's on there.
Okay,
because the FaceTime occurred in between those two big phone calls. That
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Because it was like one big phone call, and then there should have been a FaceTime, and in the FaceTime short, it's only a few minutes, and then there's probably just a few more minutes. And that's probably.
So there's a few more calls on Tuesday. So 112 is the 2 minute and 44 second call. That lasts till approximately 1:14, and then there's a long gap until 1:50. So another 45 or 35 minutes, and then there's a 7-minute phone call. That phone call lasts till 1:58 a.m., and then there's a 10-second phone call at 2:07 a.m., followed by. I think he calls you and maybe leaves a voicemail or something, or you don't pick up. So there's a 10-second call, and then directly after that, there's a 10-minute and 24-second phone call.
Okay, so I'm talking about the two at the very beginning of
the two long
really
ones.
Long ones.
And is that when he's talking about the kids'
yes,
sheets?
with the sheet. Okay, so yes. I will help you line this up. Like, I almost want to just come in there and like drop and drag all of my texts to where they were going.
And you know what? We may meet and do that here coming early next week.
Yeah, well, all those phone calls at the very end of the night, that was me freaking out. Like, if you look at my text, a lot of that was like, I can't sleep, I'm really scared, where's your family? That was like me freaking out, and him calling to like try to reassure me, or me calling him like, please talk to me, I'm super scared, where's your family? Like, those little ones at the very end of the night are me not being able to sleep and trying to get him to like talk to me about like, and just I guess making sure everything was okay. So those like real late ones, and that's why they're all kind of like sporadic. Cause I'd be up for like an hour, and then I'd fall asleep for like 15 minutes, and then I would like wake up and start stressing again and try to call them back. Like, so that's why there are all these like little sporadic ones throughout the end of the night. But those two big ones.
So yesterday we talked about Tuesday was mainly text messages regarding your confrontation about his wife being pregnant.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
It is, and I mean, I guess those phone calls were on Tuesday morning, but for me, it was still Monday night. I was talking to you guys last night. That's how I referred to it, because I hadn't like gone to bed yet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, that makes sense to me. Okay, so
I guess those technically were on Tuesday, but according to my daily sleep schedule, that was still my Monday night.
Right. So the last phone call with him on Monday, well, it basically starts into Tuesday. It takes you all the way to Tuesday. It actually ends like basically at midnight on Monday, August 31st. So his wife gets home sometime at about 2 o'clock on that morning. So
no, she got home on Sunday.
Pardon me, Sunday. She got home on Sunday. So did you ever talk to him late on Sunday night?
No, we were on the phone, but I mean, I had to let him go and get up and go to work.
That was the 9 to 11 call it was like a 2-hour phone call we talked about yesterday on Sunday night from 9 p.m. to 11.
And that would have been the last time that I talked to him until the work day on Monday.
And that's when he texted you at like 3:45.
No, we talked during work. Remember I told you he like randomly texted me throughout the day at work, but it was just like bullshit conversation. Okay. It wasn't like anything.
No substance. Okay. So the most important thing that you've said here is this Monday night phone call, he doesn't have any sheets on the bed, and he said his children's sheets were smelly.
They smell.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's get back to that because I feel like you and me are kind of getting off track.
Yep.
So go to that first long phone call on Monday night was, I think, when he told me that. I don't think he told me that in the FaceTime text. I mean, in the FaceTime conversation. I think he told me that in the first conversation where he was like, their sheets smell. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why? Like, you keep such a clean house. Like, why would your kids' sheets stink? And, like, it just didn't really click.
Did you confront him? Why they?
What's up?
Did you confront him why the sheets smelled, or did you inquire why?
No, I didn't even ask.
Do you know his? I mean, his children were quite young, and I think one of them was still in diapers. Would have that been a potential reason? You know, that one of them had an accident, or did it seem like that's not what he was talking about?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't elaborate.
Okay.
He was just like, I mean, like I said, he always cleans the house, but even if his kids were to be in diapers and, like, have accidents, like, I just feel like the man keeps his house so clean, and she does too. They both must have to like, coexist in a house that clean. But, like, I just don't see anything in the house, like, smelling.
Okay. All right.
So that was why I brought that up, because I was like, whoa. Okay.
Very important. Thanks for remembering that.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm really trying to help you guys. I need you guys to help me too. Like,
yes, ma'am.
This is a team, but just don't.
So
fucking let me down,
the reason why we can't, like, I did think about this yesterday, that I would like to sit down with you once we have your text messages and the phone calls, and we can put them in some type of easily looking, that we can sit down and look at them and compare them, and we can kind of get the context of how everything was going that night. I would like to do that with you. Unfortunately, so the download that we got yesterday is going to take multiple days to be analyzed. I probably won't have it back till next week. And then because you guys did have so many text messages, one of my analysts is working on getting those in order, so we can put something together where we can actually sit down and discuss it. But I do think that's something that I want to do in the near future, sometime probably next week.
I mean, I can do that. I don't mind giving you guys my time. I just need you guys to, like, help me with my employer and try to just help me brace for this media thing and just try.
So I think your personal mental health is the number one issue. So let me help you with that and get a victim advocate to call you. And you can address questions of employment with them. I think they're better suited to answer those questions than I am. So I would ask you to direct questions to them. If they can't answer them, I'll try to help you as best as I can. I think you have a personal decision to make on what you want to do with your employer. I think you're kind of backed into a corner, and you are gonna. It's a tough decision. Do you want to inform them of what was going on? But I will tell you that I think that when they started looking at information for us, and I clarified this morning because I didn't do some of the work on this, but there was either text messages or emails between you and Chris that were on company-related phones or on company-related computers that they were privileged to look at, so they already know about you. Okay, so
yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep my job. I hope that they don't fire me for that. I mean, technically, I'm not an ATT employee, and he is, and it was his phone and not mine. So,
well,
like,
I don't think that's fire. Like, I don't know labor law. I'll just put it that way. I think that, you know, whatever. I mean, people have relationships at work, and you guys were smart enough to stop the stuff. However, you guys did it. Is it an unusual circumstance that two people who got together at their place of employment, this terrible tragedy happened? Yes. Do I think that they are going to do anything to you? I don't think so. I mean, if you read the paper today, you saw they already fired Chris. I mean,
they should, but
right.
I'm hoping they're not going to fire me.
Well, and I think you need to head that up. I think if it was me, and this is just this is not a professional opinion, it's a personal opinion, because I'm trying to help you as much as I can. I would reach out to your employer and just say, I want to come in and talk to you, but maybe talk to your EAP people first, and let me get you in touch with a victim advocate. Because again, I think your mental health is more important right now than even your employment. I want you to make sure that you're comfortable and safe in everything that's happening, and then make some, professional decisions and in regards to your employment. Okay.
Okay.
So let me.
Yeah, and go ahead.
No, I have a couple more questions that don't relate to anything that we just talked about. Is there anything else that you remembered last night that you want to address?
Yeah, a few. So I'm not done yet.
Okay.
And then we can talk about that whole thing too, because I was actually going to see if I could email them today. I was going to email my upper boss, and I was actually going to call her and see and just ask her if she can have. She's the Anadarko rep. See if she can have a schedule.
Who cares about your job? What about the 4 people that were murdered?
At the same time, and just give them kind of a brief synopsis of what's going on, and just ask them for help and see what they have to say. But I was going to.
I think that's a good plan.
Say to them and just ask your opinion on it, because I don't want to give them too much.
You do not need to tell them anything about the investigation or anything about what we discussed. From my standpoint, the investigative pieces that we've talked about, and specifically things that relate directly to why something may have happened, or time frames or things like that, they don't need to know that. I think.
Oh, I wasn't going to tell them that. I was just going to let them know that I was.
You were in a relationship
with this case, and that that I'm like a witness to this case, and that right now it's pretty quiet. But in a few
witness
weeks,
to what?
Goes, it might become kind of a media frenzy, and I was just going to tell them, I didn't commit any crimes, and I'm not in trouble, but I'm working with the prosecutor to try to help to bring some closure to this horrible thing, and then just tell them, I don't think the media is going to portray a very nice picture of me, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance, and
I think that your projection of whatever is going to happen with the media can be reserved until that time. I know that's like your biggest fear in this, but right now I would not even I wouldn't address anything that hasn't happened. I think I would simply tell them, look, I am involved in this case. I'm a witness, and I, whether or not, I think they already know it, and I'm sure Anadarko is going to talk with whoever your employer is to make them aware of that. And then, hey, I had a relationship with this guy, and that's all they need to know. They don't need to know anything else. And then, I mean, you have to protect your employment and your personal well-being. So think of the best way to do that, and just minimal information. You don't have to tell them very much, but I do think you're on the right track of getting ahead of it. But again, I'm not an attorney, especially a labor attorney. So you have to make decisions for yourself on that. But some of the people here in the victim advocate realm may be able to give you some better advice than I.
I was hoping to do that today.
Sure. I will make a phone call today and
get the ball rolling on this, because I would like to either go to work on Monday or figure out what is going on with a fresh week, and try to put my life together, because I think it will help.
Yeah, I think getting back to work and not sitting there and dwelling on this at every moment is going to be very beneficial to you. So I will reach out to those people who handle that today. If I had a name, I'd give it to you. I don't, but I'll see who's available. Okay. So what other?
I want to reach out to them today.
Okay. As soon as we're done here, I'll make that my next priority.
Thank you.
What other things is there that you thought of last night?
So I don't know when this phone conversation happened. I think that this was Monday at some point as well. I think it might have even been the same phone conversation as him washing the sheets and everything. I think it might have been the same conversation. He informed me that her friend Nikki's son was at the house when the cops insane, and that he was running all over the house and up and down in all the rooms. And at this point, I was like, well, is anything missing? Because I was thinking on Monday that this girl had just left for the night. So I was like, well, maybe if she's staying with Nikki or somebody, maybe she forgot some stuff. So maybe they're sending, they're like sending him in, like, hey, go get a toothbrush or go get this or go get that. Like, I didn't know. And so he's like, yeah, this little kid was like running all over my house and in all the different rooms in the house. And I was like, well, is anything missing? And he was like, well, I think there's some blankets missing from my kids' rooms, but I don't think he took them. I think she did.
Okay. So he said little kid. Do you know how old this man was or boy was?
Oh, Nikki's son? I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's like 10 or 12. Like, I think he's like a, yeah. I don't know. I think he's like 10 or 12. Like, old enough to, like, process information and run around the house.
So he said he thought that the kid didn't take him, but that maybe Shanann had taken him.
Yes.
That's weird. Okay. So Nikki Sonny's like 10 to 12.
What the fuck does
And,
this have to do with what happened Sunday night and Monday
I'm just taking some
morning?
notes. Just a sec.
Who cares what happened after? Oh my God. Seriously.
Okay. What else?
Huh.
Oh, let me see.
I'm sure there's a lot more. You're just not giving it all to us.
I don't know. I feel like I had a list in my head and I almost wrote it down, but I didn't want to put it on Facebook.
How about this? And I was going to mention this last night, but I think both of us were pretty tired, and we were there for a long time yesterday. So if you have a thought, keep a notepad and a pen and paper with you and write it down, and then that way you don't lose it. That way, and then you can just call me and we can discuss it, and we're done, and then move on. Then you don't have to think about it anymore. Does that sound like a decent idea?
It does.
Okay.
I don't know what else I was going to tell you. When we FaceTime too. So let me go back to that too. So
Okay.
I think all of this was on Monday. So I think both the comments about the blankets and the sheets were on that first phone call on Monday. And then directly after that phone call, there was like a brief FaceTime. And when I FaceTimed him, he was laying on a bed that didn't have any sheets on it.
Okay.
And I remember, and he was like in just like a little wife beater top, and he didn't really say much. It was like he wanted me to talk to him. He's like, I just wanted to see your face. And he like wanted me to talk to him, but he was like kind of quiet. And actually, that was when I got off the phone with him and went and did laundry. And then so I would call him back on the phone, because when we were FaceTiming, it was like kind of weird. I was like, I don't really know where this is going. Like, you're not really having a conversation with me.
So he was just removed. He wasn't very engaged in the conversation.
He was just like really fixated on like me. Like, I bet you if I wouldn't have talked, he would have been okay with it.
Just staring at you.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, it was really brief too. Like, it was super short, and I was just like, this is not going anywhere. And I remember telling him like, I will call you back, but let me go do some laundry. So I like got out of bed and went and threw some clothes in the dryer that I forgot to put in the dryer prior to laying down. And then, I don't know, I think I might have did like one or two other little quick things, and then I got back in bed and I called him back on the phone, and that's when that second long phone call started.
Okay. All right, great. Anything else?
Off the top of my head, I don't really think so. I mean, I did want to make a comment too, though. Like, the other gentleman that was in the room last night, I do not remember his name.
His name was Tim.
Tim, that's right. I knew it started with a T, and I couldn't remember the rest. He was asking me, like, oh, did you guys ever talk about my plans, stuff like that? And here's the deal. Like, when it comes to Chris or any other man that I've ever had in my life, like, I always discuss important things, like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Like, you know, are these is this the type of man that wants to have kids, and in his case, more kids? Like, are you like, what type of house do you want to live in? Like,
Today is August. Text message. Okay.
That's really weird, you guys?
Okay. All right, great. Anything else?
Off the top of my head, I don't really think so. I mean, I did want to make a comment too, though. Like, the other gentleman that was in the room last night, I do not remember his name.
His name was Tim.
Tim, that's right. I knew it started with a T, and I couldn't remember the rest. He was asking me, like, oh, did you guys ever talk about my plans, stuff like that? And here's the deal. Like, when it comes to Chris or any other man that I've ever had in my life, like, I always discuss important things, like where do you want to be in 5 years? Like, you know, is this the type of man that wants to have kids, and in his case, more kids? Like, are you, like, what type of house do you want to live in? Like,
and you remember we
Today is
always
August
had
7th.
this problem. We couldn't get past.
Today is August 17th, 2018. The time is 10:51 a.m. This is Agent Cadet.
when I got off the phone with him and went and did laundry, and then
Like, it will not fucking play the rest of the message past the 30-minute mark, which means somebody's either messing with it, or they didn't actually fully record it all, or they've put a bug into it so that it will never fucking play it all. Oh, I really need to work on not swearing, but this whole situation really pisses me off when law enforcement can get away with this kind of shit and have this happen on publicly released information. It infuriates me, honestly. But that you're gonna go and like put all the other like nickel and dimers and the little titty bitty fucking criminals away instead of the big fucking fish who really have done something wrong by wiping 4 people off the face of the earth. Man, it pisses me off. Because y'all can hear it, you can see it, it ain't gonna play any further.
So he said,
I said like 1 or 2 hours.
Once it gets to 30 minutes and it gets into personal conversation,
today is August 17th.
you can clearly see
I don't
it is
I don't
corrupt.
think so. I mean, I did want to make a comment too, though. Like,
Pissing me right off because we're just gonna listen to this shit again, only for it to cut off again. And it did this the first fucking time that we tried to get into this shit. This is so maddening. I can't even fucking speak properly anymore. Honestly, I hope that these fucking people who had control over this sleep well at night. I hope you're having great T-bone steaks right now, because you know what? The truth will come out one day. It just won't come out right now. Honestly, biggest disappointment ever to actually see this shit happening. And on the ability to not even be able to play what is publicly released from Weld County is really irritating. Really irritating that we can't even hear the whole conversation that happened. Are they proud of themselves? Like, is this the type of murder investigation that any of us would want to go through? So be it that we may be involved in something like that, or something horrible may happen to one of us. So frustrating. I have said this before a million times. Like, So frustrating. It almost feels like it's something on purpose. Like, God damn it. Why the hell can't they just release what the fuck they did? If you did a good job and you're upholding the law and you are an honest citizen, why can't you release it all? Whatever. Honestly, I don't even care if I'm the next one to die over this shit. I honestly hope I am. Like, seriously, needs to be exposed, right? For real. It can't be by accident that we are getting duplicate files in the second discovery. It can't be by accident that we can't actually play some of the things that were released. There could very well be some very incriminating information that comes out of this woman's mouth, but we'll never be able to hear it because we can't get the damn thing to play. Oh my God. Fuck.
The other gentleman.
So damn frustrating. Oh my God. I hope you're proud of yourself, all of you. I at one point said I thought this was a fantastic investigation. Uphold the law to the T. Amazing. I am now kind of doubting that that was even the case. Needs to be exposed. Honestly. Y'all, let me just share a dreaded, deep, dark secret that I have had for a long time. Honestly, this life has been nothing but hard for me, nothing but disappointing for me, nothing but lonely and unfriendly to me. And therefore, I can tell y'all, honestly, for so many years, I have literally had a death wish. Literally. Like somebody just hit me with a fucking Mack truck with the chronic pain that I have to deal with and all the things that are harder for me. I am not going to lie. There are days that I live in the middle of Train Central Station that I'm like, just take me the fuck out of here. Hit me by a damn train already. I'm done with this life. It is a piece of shit. It's never been good to me, and I'm tired of it. Honestly, so I could see this being me exposing this shit and me being the next one. Let me just premonition it, right? If I get wiped off the face of the earth anytime soon, it may just be because of this shit. Seriously. No, I'm not lying though, Vicky. That's the truth. Like when you deal with chronic pain and you get to the end of your day after giving it your all and people are still shitting all over you, there are days when you don't even want to make it home. Like, forget it. Take me out, Mack truck. Take me out, freight train. Take me out something because it is so fucking difficult. And then you got to see shit like this happen, where Nicole may have very well helped talk to Chris about this crime, helped him cover up some of the things in the beginning due to their hour-long conversations after the crime, I might add. You know, the whole fucking thing is really shady. Don't be surprised if I go missing off the face of the earth one day because I've said some bad things about some people who are higher up, right? Oh, my God. So I'm frustrated to the max. Like, I can't tell y'all how many times I've tried to be gentle and generous and be, upholding of the people who are supposed to be honest, law-abiding citizens. And meanwhile, here's what they're doing. They're hiding things from the public. They're not releasing full information. They're opening and closing a murder case of 4 people in 5 months? For real? Not even. Oh my God. Whatever. You know what? I hope they all sleep well at night because one day, boy. But this shit really sucks right now, don't it? It really does. I think I'm pretty certain I got mad about this the last time it fucking happened too. Because I said the same things. Like, man, this really looks like they have covered up something that they know to be the truth. We all go through shit. Yeah, that's true, Lily G. You know what, you guys? It doesn't matter how kind you are, because the minute that you stand up to somebody, if they're higher up than you, they're just going to squash you. They're going to squash you like the bug that they think that you are. It's been proven time and time again in my life. So nobody's going to be able to tell me different. And I don't think I'll ever be shown different. So it is a bunch of BS, KDC. And hi, welcome. I wish we didn't have to have so many visitors in here when I'm getting mad, and that we just have, a lot of visitors come in when we are just having regular chats. Like, why does it have to be when I'm mad and I'm talking smack about the people who were supposed to be the heads of this investigation that now look pretty fucking shady? Why is it that this has to happen? Honestly, whatever, though. Like I said, I don't care anymore to be the one who brings it out, because I'm probably going to be the next one who gets wiped off the face of the earth. And then I'll get to be in a better place and forget dealing with all this bullshit, forget being in pain all the fucking time, forget not having my family, forget not having my kids. I mean, for real, it's a lot. And one can only take so much. And when you start to see how corrupt and bullshit the system is, if this is what's going to happen, it just makes you want to throw in the damn towel. I'm glad I could be the honest cat here. I really hope that we can get more visitors regularly, and it doesn't have to be about me freaking out. But I think there's a lot to say about what we can't see about the case files that were released, not once, but twice. Right? Because we didn't get new information in the second release, really. I mean, we got shit that came out in the second release that should have been in the first. We didn't need to see the flyer distribution and the visits to all the neighbors and the community in the second release. We needed to see that in the first release to see what the process was in their investigation. But we didn't get it that way, did we? So does it even really matter when the public asks for public information if we're not even going to get the full truth and nothing but the truth and everything that they did? Because it makes me think that that's just not the case. And it really doesn't fucking matter what the public thinks. It really doesn't matter what you want. Oh, you want the truth? Well, here's bits and pieces. This is what we're going to give you. And that's all you're going to get. Figure it out the rest yourself. And well, if you can't, too bad. Like, what is that? Like, what is that? So, like I said, I hope all of them can sleep well at night. I think some of them did an amazing job, but who knows how far everything goes up when you can't even get to all the files and you can't even get everything that they supposedly released. There's no way that the second release should have been stuff that had to do with the first. So why did we get duplicate filler information? Right? Whatever. Pisses me right off. But I can't sit here and blab all night long. But hey, I'm pretty sure I've premonitioned whether or not anything bad is going to happen to me. So maybe I'll be the next case y'all are looking up on, but you can't get any fucking information about. Who knows? Well, I wish that I had, a lot. Yeah, right. First lady, I hear you, girl, for real. But yeah, right on getting any other information. I don't know that they're even going to be truthful at this point. I mean, it looks as if they're trying to be, but when we can clearly see discrepancies, it's pretty obvious that we're not getting the damn truth. And that is nothing short of not justice for Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico. But who cares, right? Because everybody else gets to sleep at night. Everybody else gets to keep on living and earning their paychecks, even though they've been shady. That should just be like obliterated. But I guess that's been going on since caveman times, right? Right? We just weren't able to express it all together. Like I said, bunch of BS. Oh, I'm sure that Shanann's parents were allowed to see it all. Except for anything probably involving Nicole Kessinger, right? Oh my God. Whatever. I don't know. I'm probably going to have trouble sleeping tonight, my damn self, because of this. It's just absolutely infuriating to me that Shanann is off the face of the earth along with her two beautiful daughters that are just lovely little people. For what? For what? Oh. Y'all, I wish I could say that I could be positive throughout all of this, but I just can't do it. Like, Shanann's name should be never ruined. And I never have gone there, ever. Like, I don't understand why some people on these, platforms have been able to communicate with the loved ones of Shanann, of the girls. And and somebody like me, well, never, like I sent a card and I got a card back, but that was it. But that's fine. I'm used to not being loved. My own family doesn't love me. My parents don't love me. My own kids don't love me. So, pretty fucking fed up with this family. It is what it is, though. The whole Ruzick family was not even able to say a proper goodbye to their loved ones, which is also just as fucking heartbreaking. Thank you, ladies, for being so awesome. Seriously. I couldn't do this without you guys, and damn it all, anyway, life is sure fucking hard by yourself. Anyway. But the haters get to win, the corrupt get to win, right? Makes you wonder why you even care anymore. If we don't even have a real judicial system, if we don't even have real justice, what the hell are we all fighting for? Charlie, I appreciate that you appreciate what I'm doing here, but the YouTubers, like you've mentioned, get hundreds and sometimes thousands of viewers, and I get single digits sometimes. So it's a little difficult sometimes to stay positive when you can clearly see everyone else's success versus yours. So, where is that fucking Mack truck? Where is that goddamn train? For real sometimes. I try to stay positive for y'all, but you know what? Sometimes life just sucks. And it seems as though Shanann's family and all of them really didn't even get full justice. If you honestly know all the pieces of the puzzle here, it's very obvious that there's a lot missing. And there's a lot of lies. And yeah, she left up Shanann in 2017. She knew all about Chris. Her whole interviews were all just a bunch of bullshit. But whatever. I don't think that we're ever going to get the truth. I don't think it's ever going to come full circle. I don't think we're ever going to get to understand the ins and outs of what even happened in the investigation process. And that's just a fact that we have to deal with. Like it's very obvious when we are getting duplicate um, interviews in the same release that there was no information released. That it was just a big ruse to try to stir the public up again. I'm not going to express to them my concerns. I already asked them today if there was any other information in the case that they could share with me. That is what I would appreciate. Could they please? And I didn't get a response to that particular email, but the email that I had sent was in response to the email for further and any other information in regards to the case. You know, I don't think that I know any other YouTuber that's even fallen in love with Shanann, Bella, and Celeste the way that I did. So I am so happy for all of everybody else's success, but it would be nice to get there a little bit myself. Whether or not that's going to happen will only determine from whether or not people will come and support me. I don't know. It makes you wonder whether or not the Ruziks even got all the information from the case file. If they had to be dependent upon Weld County to get their information, and this is what we are getting from Weld County, who knows what the hell the Ruziks got, really. I don't know. I would hope, as the victim's family, that they would have got everything, but who knows? Very frustrating, you guys, you know. I appreciate your support and stuff, and I'm sure that you can resonate with some of my anger and irritation towards this entire situation, especially when we are the only channel that has literally been opening every and each and every single Weld County file that was ever released, right? So you can go back in my channel for the last 6 months and see every single file released. And what are we getting into right now? We're getting into the second release. And what is it showing? It's showing things from the first release that we don't need to hear twice, damn it. Oh my God. Y'all, I really appreciate your support, but this whole situation is just infuriating. I don't know if we're ever going to get to the bottom of it, but I thank you guys for your support. And I mean, if you enjoy my realness and rawness and you don't mind some swearing, hit the like button because I appreciate that kind of support. It shows me that you care. Feel free to hit the $ for a personal donation. There are many avenues to do such, though, and I share those in my description box. I appreciate all of y'all being here and listening and stuff and allowing me to vent some of my frustration about this case, but yeah, it's pretty obvious. There's a whole lot of crap going on. If you're new to my channel and you haven't yet subscribed, I would love to see more of you. I also condone all opinions. So if you have other information or you knew something about someone else or whatever, please share it. Because, I mean, we're open-minded here, but we're pretty level-headed in the sense that we can see what we can see. And so why can't there be some more truth to this? Thank you, Yvette. I'm sorry. sorry, y'all, that I get so mad, but it's so maddening. If this was my family, I probably would have went fucking crazy. I would have lost my goddamn mind already because this isn't even my family or anybody that I know, and I'm this emotional about it. I can't even imagine if it was my family. I can't even imagine. Well, y'all, before I just keep going and getting all emotional, I appreciate your viewing. I seriously appreciate all of y'all, no matter where you're from. I am true. Thank you, Bonnie. It's not easy being an emotional person because you get your heart and mind and soul wrapped around situations. You know, like I've said this before, if Chris Watts hadn't been on national television pleading for his wife and children to come home, I would have never probably even heard about the Chris Watts case. But I saw him on the news station pleading for his wife and child, and I looked up the family and I saw how much sales that she was in and the videos that they did and the family life that they lived, and I just fell in love with them. Thank you for the like button, y'all, for real. I totally appreciate your support. I will be back, of course, you guys, for another true story with me, Sherry Wiens, and I thank you for your honest involvement here and that you care enough to even comment, even if you're someone who's never commented. I seriously appreciate that. We'll be back on Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time to do our face-to-face chat. And I'm going to put some makeup on and try to look all pretty. So, TGIS, thank goodness it's Sherry. And yeah, I hope you all have a good night. I'm sorry for being so raw and real sometimes, but damn it, when you can see the truth is not really even the truth, it's pretty maddening. I don't want to walk around looking like an idiot, but it's pretty obvious that there are some things that are covered up here, and there are some things that I don't know for what reason, whether it had to do with money, whether it had to do with, the level of her father. I have no idea. But some of the rumors, I mean, honestly, the shoe fits, right? Like I said, we'll be back on Sunday at 1 p.m. face to face for our lives. So I'm going to try to look pretty and not get emotional. But yeah, I guess we are all mad about this. I just feel bad when I go off sometimes because people are probably like, damn, like this lady's crazy, But damn, I have a big heart and I completely fell in love with this family and I don't even care if they never talk to me. I honestly have the biggest heart for the entire family. So I thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you come back to visit for our next Watts Case Wednesday show, 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll be back on Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. I hope you guys all have a great night. Much love. Thank you for the thumbs up and the support. And I'll see you guys again soon for another true story with me, Sherry. Bye for now.